it's getting darker. And we're maybe like 15 minutes away from his grandparents' house, and it takes us on, like, it starts to turn into a gravel road. Like, what the fuck? So we're driving, and we pass a no trespassing sign, right? But of course, none of us saw this stupid fucking sign because, like, it was like a road construction sign, right? That had, like, it looked like a whole bunch of PT belts, like, slathered all over the freaking thing, like reflective belts everywhere. Like, you couldn't tell what the hell it was set. So we were driving, and you know, it's a gravel road, right? Like a one-lane gravel road, and we see a truck. It's a Ford Ranger, right? And he's parked like sideways on the road, like blocking the road. And we're driving, and we kind of like roll real slow around the dude, like, oh, you know, he's just turning around, like the dude's just as lost as us.
Little did you know.
And yeah, and we go around him, and the dome light goes on, which is like the little interior light, and we see these big, like these two huge dudes that are in this truck. And what's it called? You know, we're a bunch of scared little, like, 16, 17-year-olds. So we're like, okay, like, this is a little weird. You know, it's pitch black. There's no one around for miles. Cell phone service doesn't even work. Right? All we have is a GPS. So, you know, we think nothing of it. All of a sudden, the truck passes us on the left. Like, there's a cornfield on the right side of the road and a alfalfa field on the left side. An alfalfa field's like, it's a very small shrub that's there. I mean, you can drive a truck through it. Which this guy, he like went around us like 50, 60 miles an hour, just woof, right, passing us, slamming on his brakes, and they get up in front. We stop, and the one dude gets out, and he starts like pissed off walking towards us, and we're like, what the fuck, like, turn around, we need to get the fuck out of here. So we turn around, and like my buddy does an awesome J-turn, right, which is like when you're going in reverse and you spin the car around, go back in that. This awesome J-turn, and we're turning around, and we're going through the S-turn that we just came from, and the dude like he cuts through the alfalfa field to cut us off, and we're like, what the fuck? So we look on the GPS, and there's another road that it wasn't the road we came from, and it looked like it's just a side road, right? So we go down it. We go down the hill, and we come across this fucking like creepy ass house that's like barely even lit. That's barely lit up at all. There's a smoking barrel, like they're burning garbage. And it's this old creepy fucking house, and we're freaking out. We're freaking the fuck out, right? And of course, it's a dead end. That's the house. Like, that was the house. So we get out of the car, park the car, get out of the car, fucking banging on this people's door, like, you know, like, help us, you know, we're freaking out. Then the truck like drove down there, and that's when we realized it was their house. We're like, fuck. So we try to get back in the car. The dude like pulls right up. He gets out of the car, and the dude weighed like 300, 400 pounds. Gets out, and he's screaming at us about like you motherfuckers, like, trespassing my goddamn property. Like, do you know how much fucking crop you just destroyed? And we're all like there, like, shaking, like, oh, what the fuck's going on? Like, we're gonna die. This is when we're gonna die. Someone's gonna shoot us. Like, this is it. Oh, preparing to fucking like die. And the dude's like screaming at us, and all of a sudden the other guy who got out of the truck comes running down the hill, and it ended up being his son. And he's just coming out, he's screaming at us, like, what the fuck? Like, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, look, this whole shit. And this dude's like, you guys have been doing drugs. I could just fucking see that you guys are doing drugs. And the dude was hammered. I mean, fucking just plastered, right? This guy was absolutely plastered. And like, we're freaking out. He's like, you know what? After like 15 minutes of thinking we were gonna die, right? He's like, I'm gonna call the cops, and we're like handing up like him our phones, like, please fucking call the cops. Like, we just want to go home. And so he calls the cops. The son actually calmed down a lot, because he was about the same age as us. He calmed down, and like, we were talking to him. My buddies were talking to him about hunting, about like the land that they have and the hunting land and stuff. And then we're getting little bits of information out of him. He's like, yeah, it's like this is the only truck without a firearm in it. It's like without a shotgun in it. And if you were unlucky to get past us, you would have came across our uncle, who would have been not so nice with handling situations. Like, what does that mean? He's like, he probably would have shot you guys. I'm like, fucking great. So we're getting there. The cops
Yeah, that's a
finally
great thing you
arrive.
want to hear.
The cops finally arrive, and what's it called? They pulled down, and it was 3 cops that pulled up. It was 3 different patrol cars. And because the dude thought we were all drunk, we all got breathalyzed. The 5 of us got breathalyzed. And of course, zeros across the board because we're not fucking idiots. And then for whatever reason, the dude wanted us to search through the car. So the policemen did the worst fucking car search. Like, he looked at in the glove box, and that was about it. Once he found a pink purse that belonged to Matt's mom and gave him shit about it. He's like, "Oh, this is your pretty pink purse?" He's like, "Yep." I'm missing 2 details. One detail that we should have fucking did is when the dude was screaming at us about the before the cop came. He was screaming at us. He's like, "Didn't you see the fucking no trespassing sign?" He was like, "Come on, like, you're coming with." And so Matt gave the dude his keys, and he went alone, like, in the back of the pickup truck to go see the fucking, the no trespassing sign. In hindsight, that was a horrible
Terrible
idea that we did that. And alright, so going back to when the police arrived, so the policeman got to Chris, who, he was the guy that we were dropping off at his grandparents' house, and the cop's like, "You look really familiar," and Chris is like, "Yeah, you seem like I've seen you before." Turns out that Chris got breakfast with his grandparents in the very small town, like the one restaurant that they have there, and the policeman was also having breakfast there. So, they had a little conversation with each other already that day. So, zeros across the board, a really shitty vehicle check, because the police knew we were fucking scared shitless, and
you have arrived at your destination.
We just wanted to go home. So yeah, can you give us a police escort to get back into town? He's like, "Sure, no problem." So we're going through this 2-lane highway, we're following this cop, and we're going through the 2-lane highway doing 85, 90 miles an hour. This cop did not give a shit. We get to a fork in the road. And he stops, and he turns his lights on, and he comes back. He's like, "Yeah, I just got a call about a pickup truck that they've had shots fired from the pickup truck, and they're on a police chase. So I got to go, meet up with them, those guys." It's like, yeah, he's like, "Just go left, go right, and you'll be all set." And be like, "Thank you, officer. You fucking saved our asses." And that was our fantastic night that we had.
Was it that truck that was shooting?
No. It would have been funny if it was, though. By the way, my game downloaded, so. Alright, no more stream by people who watch this shitty ass thing for entertainment, aka Sam. Thank you for supporting me. Bye.
I'm tired.